Hello and welcome to Big Orbit's Cardfight Vanguard weekly update. My name is James and today I'll be going through the cards shown throughout the past 7 days. Starting off, we have the RR Grade 2 for Nova Grappler with Kick Typhoon. It has the first skill of Auto Vanguard Circle Rearguard Circle when placed. If this unit is on Vanguard Circle or an additional Rearguard Circle, one of your units gets plus 5000 power till the end of the turn. Now you can give it to himself, which is really good against a Force matchup, as on Vanguard Circle it gets past their 10k Grade 2s, and on an additional Rearguard Circle it becomes a 24k power unit, big enough to be a threat for most Grade 4s. It also has Auto Rearguard Circle once per turn when it attacks. If all of your front row rearguard circles have a rearguard, cost counterblast 1 and stand one of your other rearguards. A great target to stand this would be Brutal Jack for its huge amount of power that it just has for existing. Nova Grapplers also get the RR Grade 3 Glad Grat. It has Auto Vanguard Circle when it attacks. If you have 2 or more rest rearguards, cost counterblast 1 and soul blast 1. This unit gets power plus 10,000 until the end of the turn. And if you have 5 or more rest rearguards, stand 2 of your front row rearguards. It's like a more conditional Perfect Riser without a counter charge, but with an arguably lower cost. A perfect card for budget players. A new form of vanilla has arrived. The first card to be revealed for it is Farmed Gaius. Now looking at his stats, it seems pretty much useless, but there is one redeeming feature, and it's one that most people don't spot on the first look. That is its base critical of 2. Like Shadow Paladin players may know from the original series of Vanguard, a 3k base is not great to be on the Vanguard Circle, but with an XL marker he does become a 13k unit. Still not amazing, but a threat nevertheless. This is especially good in Nova Grappler thanks to all the restanding the clan has, so multiple chances of getting that 2 critical through. Onto the hero section of the clan, we have a very useful Grade 1 Smash Masher. His first skill is Auto Rearguard Circle. When it attacks, costs Counterblast 1 and this unit gets plus 5000 power till the end of the turn for each card in your damage zone. This can be strong late game, but what makes him really useful is his second ability of Auto Rearguard Circle. At the end of the turn, if you have a Grade 3 Hero Vanguard, cost put this unit into your soul and countercharge 1. This is incredibly useful for spinning Valiant, who requires Counterblast of 4. This with Boomerang Thrower will be there to allow you to use spinning skill more than once in a match. Dividing Rose is a vanilla Grade 1 for the clan. It's more or less a clone of Death Army guy, but it's a hero instead. Heroes also get another starting Vanguard with Sling Burster. Still a human hero like Tap the High Burst, so not sure why they made both, but at least you get a choice of artworks. Novas also get 2 new triggers, one being the critical with Old Anchor, and they also get a new front with 8 Languages Announcer Blabber. Onto Link Joker, we have the RR Grade 1 Sunset Edge Duskblade. Yet another G-Series card coming to V, though he's gone down a grade, and his skill is Auto Rearguard Circle. When the attack it boosted hits a Vanguard, cost Counterblast 1, choose one of your opponent's rearguards and bind it face down. If your opponent is a Grade 3 or greater, draw a card. This is a fantastic Grade 1, as a very threatening on hit with your opponent, not only -1ing you, but also getting a +1. It can also be used in any build, and would probably do really well in deleters for the added chance of hitting. And deleters could use the draw power. He makes a nice little assassin card, staying on the back row and pinging off your opponent's rearguards. Force also get a new form of vanilla. Blowmonk of Twin Feet is here to show the type of card. It's a Grade 1, but instead of boost, it has intercept. Looking at it seem too bad, as it's a 10k shield after all. Though the deck building is going to be a bit odd with this card, as you likely won't be adding many other Grade 1s in its place for the boosting, so you may find yourself short on boosters. But this is Force, so they do have Force Gift 1s to power up this kind of card a bit more. Topological Dragon is a Grade 3 for Cyber Dragons, and has Auto Vanguard Circle. When it attacks, cost retire 2 rearguards, and this unit gets plus 5000 power and plus 1 critical to the end of turn. I was semi-joking with the Cyber Dragons getting self-retire skills, but here we are. And as the Cyber Dragons have on-retire abilities, you may be able to stack a bunch of good abilities on this card to make it a big threat. Another Cyber Dragon is the Grade 2 Binadol Dragon. Its first skill is Act Rearguard Circle, cost Soul Blast 1 and retire this unit, and draw a card. A nice little bit of cycling, and it also has Auto, when it is retired from Rearguard Circle during your turn, cost Counterblast 1, until the end of the turn. When your opponent would call a card from hand to Guardian Circle, for the battle that your Vanguard attacked, he or she must call 2 or more at the same time. This is a great target for Topological Dragon, as he will gain the power and guard restriction. Axino Dragon is here as a new critical for the clan, as well as being another Cyber Dragon, which could prove useful in the future. Onto Kagero, they have the RR Grade 1 Red Dive Griffin. Its skill is Auto Rearguard Circle once per turn. When your opponent's Guardian is placed for the battle that it boosted a Vanguard, costs Soul Blast 1. Choose one of those Guardians, retire it, and at the end of the battle, retire this unit. This doesn't cancel the perfect guard effects, but it's still great to boost Dragonic Waterfall with this card, thanks to his guard restriction anyway and huge power. This is the ultimate anti-heal trigger card, standard, and in Premium it will probably have a lot more use against G-Guardians. Dragon Knight's Arena is a grade 2 with auto rearguard circle once per turn. When your opponent's rearguard is retired due to the effect of your Vanguard, cost Soul Blast 2, choose one of your grade 1 or lower card from your drop zone, and call it a rearguard circle in the same column as this unit. Soul Blast 2 is pretty big, especially as Dragon Full Armored Buster also uses 2 soul, but if you're going for field advantage, then this card could take the place of Full Armored Buster, especially when you have cards like Flame of Hope Airmo. Thousand Strange Flames Pecklink is Kagero's grade 1 interceptor to show that this will be a thing for all Force clans. Kagero also get the 7k grade 2 with 15k shield with Demonic Dragon Mage K10. It works okay with Force 1, and the high defense is useful for Kagero, but Kagero already have so many good grade 2s at their disposal. Wyvern Kid Ragler is a new starter Vanguard for the clan, and with all the Wyverns we've been seeing, maybe there'll be some kind of winged dragon support in the future. And Kagero also get the new critical trigger, Angry Horn Dragon. Each clan also gets a new grade 1 perfect guard. They are Dragon Dancer Josie for Kagero, Capable Mechanic Specanic for Nova Grappler, and Iron Cane of Forbidden Suppression, Ilnavert for Link Joker. They do have one more skill than the normal perfect guards, which is Auto Vanguard Circle. When placed on Vanguard Circle, draw a card and discard a card. This can prove useful for fixing your hand early game, and gives a reason to run these grade 1 perfect guards. Though the draw triggers will probably still prove to be more popular, these cards do have a place in decks that want to run 12 criticals. There are a lot of cards to talk about with Premium Collection, as the whole set was spoiled. But I will try to give a quick summary of each of these, as there are so many. Abundant Water Honorable Deity Ichikishima's is for Oracle Think Tank and has Auto Vanguard Circle once per turn, costs Counterblast 1, turn a card from your G-Zone face up, draw a card, and until the end of the turn your opponent cannot use auto abilities of their Guardians. And this unit gets Continuous Vanguard Circle Oracle. All of your front row get power, plus 2000 for each card in your hand. The fact that this turns off G-Guardian's abilities too really hurts the defender, and they'll be powering up a ton as well, so you may as well just be running the 20k shield heal triggers to get better advantage. And she also has Continuous G-Zone. If this card is face up when counting the number of cards in your hand, count the face up card in your G-Zone as well. So when seeing how many cards you have for Oracle, or even for her first ability of gaining power, you count all of those as well. So late game you'll be powering up even more, and all your Oracle things will be active all the time. Enma Stealth King Mugen Lord Dagoku is for Nubtama and has Dominate, Act, Vanguard Circle once per turn, cost Counterblast 1 and turn a card from your G-Zone face up. Your opponent chooses 2 face-up G units with power from his or her G-Zone and calls them to Rearguard Circle. Your opponent cannot use their auto abilities. You dominate them all and attack your opponent's Vanguard with each one. Use their auto abilities as if they were on Vanguard Circle. This is pretty kind as it allows your opponent to work around it, but a lot of strides do have on-attack abilities anyway, so you can hurt yourself by making your G-Zone too good against Nubtama. For Tachikaze, we have Unrivaled Ruler Gluttony Neburos, who has Engorge and Auto Vanguard Circle. When it becomes engorged, choose 2 of your opponent's rear guards and retire them. Cost, turn a card from your G-Zone face up, and put the total of 5 equip gauge on all rear guards into the drop zone, and stun this unit. As well as act a G-Zone once per turn. If this card is face up, cost Soul Blast 1, put the top card of your deck as an equip gauge into one of your rear guards, and it becomes engorged until the end of the turn. This card helps both the old and the new, and thanks to some of the V-Series cards, even if most of your cards don't need the gauge, it can still be moved to other units through skills. Also, this can help Gigarex if you just want to straight up deal your opponent 1 more damage, as 5 gauges is no longer too hard to get in Premium. Ambush Demon Stealth Dragon Shibaraku Victor is for Murakumo and has Act Vanguard Circle once per turn, cost Soul Blast 1 and turn a card from your G-Zone face up. Reveal 7 cards from the top of your deck, put 2 cards in total with the same name as the card in your drop zone on Rearguard Circle into your hand and shuffle your deck. This isn't overly strong, but encourages you to guard early, and it also has Shadow Stitch, Auto G-Zone. Your rearguard attacks Vanguard and does not hit. If this card is face up, cost Soul Blast 1 and call this card to Rearguard Circle. This could very well be abusable in Premium Murakumo, as they do seem to be the most likely to get a ridiculous amount of attacks, and sometimes infinite loops. Narukami get Conquering Supreme Dragon, Conquest Fargreat, who has Act Vanguard Circle once per turn, Thunderstrike X, cost, turn a cost from your G-Zone face up, and discard a card from your hand. Choose the same number of your opponent's rearguards as the face up cards in your G-Zone, retire them, bind them, and all your units get plus 1000 until the end of the turn for each card in your opponent's bind zone. If your opponent's bind zone has 7 or more cards, until the end of the turn this card gets plus 1 drive, and if there are 10 or more this gets plus 1 critical. This can be a bit slow for Narukami, but keeping your opponent's field at bay is very strong if they can't easily superior call. Nova Grappler get Universe Ace Busted. The first skill is Auto Vanguard Circle when your rearguard stands, cost Soul Blast 1 and turn a card from your G-Zone face up, and this unit gets +1 drive until the end of the turn. And the second skill is Auto Vanguard Circle. At the end of the battle that attacked, if this card's drive is 5 or more, discard 3 cards from your hand, stand this unit, and it gets drive -5 until the end of the turn. This could prove to be very good with Geese, thanks to the amount of drive checks you're getting, or even for Generation Break 8 Turbo, thanks to the constant G-flips. Shoot Down Emperor Violence Ace is Spike Brothers Stride and has Act Vanguard Circle once per turn, cost Counterblast 1 and turn a card from your G-Zone face up. Draw the same number of cards as the number of face-up cards in your G-Zone. Until the end of the turn, this unit gets Act Vanguard Circle, costs Soul Blast 1, and one of your units gets plus 10,000 power till the end of the turn. As well as also Vanguard Circle, when your opponent's Guardians become 2 or more, cost Counterblast 1, put a rearguard into the soul, and call a card from your hand to rearguard circle. So unless your opponent is perfect guarding everything, just put the power-ups on Frog Raid to stand every time something's called in front of it, and go ham on your opponent. Interdimensional Dragon History Build Dragon is a stride for Gear Chronicle with continuous Vanguard Circle G-Zone. If this card is face up, all of your units with Time Leap get plus 3000 power until the end of the turn. This stacks, which is amazing write-off, especially as it also works on your opponent's turn. And it has Time Leap, Auto Vanguard Circle when it attacks, costs Soul Blast 1 and turn a card from your G-Zone face up, and Time Leap the same number of your rear guards as face-up cards in your G-Zone. So you can keep getting more and more attacks. It's really good for the deck and good target for Gear Groovy to just steal the ability of as well. Mega Colony get Guilty Empress Darkface Gridora. She has Act Vanguard Circle once per turn, costs Counterblast 1 and turn a card from your G-Zone face up. Until the end of your opponent's next turn, your opponent cannot stand units during the stand phase, nor call other than from hand. And Auto Vanguard Circle, when it attacks, Soul Blast 1, search your deck for a grade 3, call it to rearguard circle, it gets plus 10,000 power until the end of the turn. Shuffle your deck. This is an absolutely disgusting card. Paralyzing your opponent's field for such little cost is crazy. And this basically means you don't need to run machining stuff anymore. It also shuts off decks like Grand Blue and Pale Moon because it stops superior calling. And it also hurts Gize a lot. Omniscience Dragon Managama Aurum is Great Nature Stride with Act Vanguard Circle once per turn, cost Counterblast 1 and turn a card from your G-Zone face up. Perform, put the top card of your deck into the drop zone. If it's a normal unit, one of your units gets plus 10,000 power to the end of the turn. If it's a trigger unit, this unit gets plus 1 drive, and you do that 4 times. It also has Auto G-Zone once per turn. If this unit is face up, when your Vanguard attacks, costs Soul Blast and call a card from your hand to rearguard circle. Now this is really good for Stride as it can power up your rearguards for a silly amount and activate several success triggers, or give you a bunch of drive checks, up to 7 in one turn. It does, however, increase the chances of deck out quite a bit. Ghosty Great Emperor, the Big Obadiah, is the Stride for Grand Blue and has Act Vanguard Circle once per turn, costs Counterblast 1 and turn a card from your G-Zone face up. Search your deck for up to 5 cards, put them into the drop zone, shuffle your deck, call up to 2 cards from your drop zone to rearguard circle for each card in your G-Zone, and they get power plus 5,000 until the end of the turn. This sets up the whole game for the first Stride, getting the perfect drop zone. For Aquaforce, we have Torrent of Determination, Valios Revive, who has Auto Vanguard Circle when it attacks, costs Counterblast 1, turn a card from your G-Zone face up, call up to 2 cards from your hand to rearguard circle. For each face-up card in your G-Zone, draw the same number of cards as units called. If your G-Zone has 2 or more cards face up, choose one of your opponent's Vanguards until the end of the turn, increase or decrease the power of that Vanguard to 11,000, and its power cannot increase or decrease other than from the skills of Guardian's Shields. This becomes really good for a constant onslaught. It also doesn't leave you defenseless thanks to the draw, meaning you can either call over units for more attacks, or you can use it to initially fill your field and keep a good hand. The Magallanica Dragon is Progenitor Dragon of Deep Sea, Balanarena. It has Auto Vanguard Circle when your opponent's Guardian is placed, cost discard a grade 1 or less from your hand and retire that Guardian. This makes the Aquaforce Onslaught even more deadly, while also not being bad for a Grand Blue player as you can always call back the cards through skills. And finally for the Strides and the Progenitor Dragons, we have Zeus Dragon, Progenitor Dragon of Regal Birth, Megaloma. Its skill is Auto Vanguard Circle when placed, cost discard 2 cards from your hand, and for 1 time during the next turn, when you would lose, return all cards from your hand and damage zone to the deck, shuffle it, put 5 cards from the top of your deck into the damage zone, and end that turn instead. This is a good way to stall the game if you need to set up for something. Bushiroad have stated that if you're on 5 damage and your opponent hits you for 2 critical, you would take the 6th damage, activate the ability, then take the 6th damage again from the 2nd critical, and lose the game. So this card can keep you living, but it doesn't make you invincible. The double R's of the set are critical triggers, much like the first special criticals from the G series, and they have auto rearguard circle generation break 1. When your Vanguard attacks, cost put this card into your soul, draw a card, and one of your Vanguards gets plus 10,000 power until the end of the battle. So first off, they give 10k power instead of 5k, and their natural stats give plus 10k on drive check, and they have a 15k shield value. The United Sanctuary get Amulet Pure Eagle for Royal Paladin, Weather Girl Sendol for Oracle Think Tank, Thundershock Angel for Angel Feather, Open Eye Dagger Praederi for Shadow Paladin, Player of the Holy String Theodora for Gold Paladin, and Tablet Angel for Genesis. For Dragon Empire, we have Dragon Dancer Tikra for Kagero, Stealth Dragon Yamisaki for Nubatama, Raid Dragon Grillep Stucco for Tachikaze, Stealth Beast Scratch Cat for Murakumo, and Dragon Dancer Paulina for Narukami. Dark Zone get Machinery Slotback for Spike Brothers, Liquid Fencer for Dark Regulars, Exotic Jerker for Pale Moon, and Steam Gunner Kadash for Gear Chronicle. Stargate have Magnagaus 2502 for Nova Grappler, Quake Alien Namazuro for Dimension Police, and Acute Collapse Vandal Sharp for Link Joker. Onto Magallanica, we have Raging Sea Banshee for Grand Blue, Aqualight Aldel for Bermuda Triangle, and Direct Hit Brave Shooter for Aquaforce. And finally, we have Zoo with Mega F for Mega Colony, Curious Pony for Great Nature, and Happy Lucky for Neoneg. And that is everything for this week. Be sure to let me know which of these cards were your favorite. Feel free to let me know your favorite standard and premium cards, seeing as there are a lot from both. And be sure to check out next week when I'll be going through the cards thrown throughout the next 7 days. So I hope to see you then. Bye.